Hello everyone, I'm Liang Yanhua. Today I'm talking about the topic. It's about how social economic inequality shapes educational opportunities. I will through a case study of the urban-rural quality divide to expand the topic. Actually, I think education equity is not just about having a good school to go to, or it's just about how to get a good education. Okay, let's start. So first, we must redefine what we mean by inequality and opportunity. Socioeconomic inequality, or SEL, is not just about wealth gap. It is a systematic misalignment of resources. For example, high-status families use education to keep their social class. They have a high margin of error. If one path fails, they have the social capital to fund another. But on the other hand, low status families face a single track race with zero margin for error. They lack of the power to negotiate for better resources or adapt to policy changes. So this leads to us to a new definition of educational opportunities. It's not just about the right to enroll, it is about the right to succeed. Putting a child in a rural classroom without qualified teachers or equipment is just an illusion of opportunities. True opportunity requires instructional leadership and an environment of continuous improvement. So, how does this inequality turn into a gap in school performance? Please look at the track map. It is exactly the huge difference in family status that leads to the gap in educational resources. As you can see, students from high status families are in luxury cars, while students from low status families are carrying a heavy burden. Family's economic background directly decides what kinds of private education resources a student can get. This inequality exists even before school starts and grows like a snowball as a child gets older. However, if we think from a macro perspective, this inequality goes far beyond the family. Economic inequality between regions creates a huge gap in school facilities, teachers, and management. Let's look at evidence in the report in Ethiopia. Rural schools face systematic inequality in facilities and financial management. This directly hurts the school's effectiveness. In Zimbabwe, this systematic poverty shows up as a management breakdown. Rural principals must handle both teaching and heavy office works. This split in energy leads to fragmented management. In other words, ESL not just only about makes families poor, but it also makes the education systems that support these children stop working properly. Global data also confirm that the impact of family status on learning is getting stronger worldwide. Based on this analysis, we found a double failure. First is input failure. Rural schools face systematic barriers like broken buildings and a lack of money. Second is the process failure. SEI interferes with the core engine of education quality management, or EQM, because this is not instruction, leadership, or quality checks. This system loses that ability to fix itself. This double failure builds up over time and finally creates a structural wall that is very hard to collapse. Since this is a systematic problem, we need systematic solutions. At the government level, we must move from equal distribution to equity-based allocation. We should use data to find gaps and give more resources to rural schools. At school level, we need to build a support ecosystem. By making school finances transparent, we can invite social forces to help provide rural teaching resources. At the excursion level, we must empower the grassroots. We should have rural principals become instructional leaders and use benchmarking marking to learn from other successful schools in low resources areas. To summarize, SEI is not just about poverty problem, it is a structural management problem. We must use equity-first methods to ensure that every child, no matter where they are born, has a fair educational journey. These are some references I referred in my report and used in my presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye.